Hey there, you found yourself on the Willow Walk Podcast, where we're shrinking the distance between the pews by getting to know our congregation better. I'm your host, Shawn Wilson, and today I have the one and only Joshua Grooms.
Nice to be here.
Joshua, it's so good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's, you feel nervous on camera? I know you've never been on camera before.
Oh, butterflies every time.
Yeah.
No, it's okay. I'm used to this now.
Yeah, so I had... I put this rule in place, right? Because the idea of this podcast originally was to get to know the people that we don't see all the time. Mm-hmm. You're not that person, Joshua. We see you like every Sunday up there.
Fair, at least every Sunday.
Yeah. And so the rule was I was going to wait until at least episode 5 before I had either you or your dad on. Mm-hmm. And here we are, episode 5. We've made it.
You made it.
We've made it.
Yeah.
So
I've really enjoyed, by the way, this series of podcasts, getting to know some of our members, some of our leaders who we might not always see on a weekly basis, or getting to get a glimpse into their ministries and the ways that they help everything to run smoothly here. Because it's definitely, there are a few people who have a very visible job, and there's just an entire team, a whole family of people that make this work from week to week and day to day. All the things that we do and the ways we're able to minister locally and across the globe is just fantastic.
Absolutely. And there's so many people, and I've said this on other episodes, but there's so many people who are very rarely get up on the stage, but who are doing tremendous works here. Mm-hmm. You've got people who are setting up all the lessons for the kids each week, right? Who are, preparing the crafts, who are preparing the lessons. You've got people who are keeping up with those who are sick and keeping up, getting that out to everybody on the care lines. And you've got people like Ron, who was on here last time, who was coordinating, reaching out to those people and seeing if, they need anything. But this is about as close as you can get to a 1-year anniversary for you being here at Willow, right?
Yeah, really close.
I don't remember exactly when it was, but
I think moving day was October the 13th. Maybe.
Yeah,
it was something like that. It was only less than a week ago, I think.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah. So and we're recording this on the 21st. So. You came in, right when we were having the community cookout, mm-hmm. and things were rolling and mostly planned at that point, and you were still getting on your feet. But it's been a busy year since then. Yeah,
we were talking about that earlier. I was here for the community cookout, but we were still unpacking boxes and trying to figure out which, who's going to deliver our baby and everything like that. So it was a pretty crazy time. I was here, but I wasn't.
just the small stuff. Who's delivering my kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but here we are again at Community Cookout Day coming up, and Friends and Family Day. So for those of us who didn't get involved last year, tell me what is the Community Cookout? Why are we having a Community Cookout?
Yeah, so we live in Middle Tennessee, eastern Middle Tennessee, and everybody says you can stand in the parking lot of one church building and throw a rock into another, right? And even within congregations of the church, you can maybe not be able to throw a rock. Maybe you could skip one to a congregation somewhere nearby. So there's a lot of churches everywhere, and just churches and religion in general is very prevalent. Okay, so people driving by and seeing your building and seeing your sign is not enough for them to know who you are and what you do. And that's true all over the world. That's not only here, but it's a special emphasis because we're so saturated with religion in this part of the country, which is a great thing. But the goal of the community cookout was to get into our local community, those who are in close proximity to us, and say, hey, we want you to be here for this event so that we can get to know you, so that we can provide you with a fun time, with some games and some food, with some lunch. Come hang out with us, basically. It's just an invitation to the community. Come and hang out with us.
Right.
The people that you love, that you talk to and have a good relationship with on a regular basis, those are the people that if you have a cookout at your house, if you're gonna watch the football game and have a cookout, and you're gonna invite the people that you want to spend time with. And that's what we're doing with the community. We're telling people who live around us, hey, we want to spend time with you.
Sure.
We want to get to know you. We want to get to the chance to form a relationship with you. And that's where it starts, because, the old adage that they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It's just a chance, just an opportunity for us to get involved in our community, to have them come and spend some time with us so that we can begin to form relationships.
Right. And like you were saying, with there being so many different congregations and various churches, church buildings all over this town, right? I drive past 3, 4, 5 between my house and work, right? And I just drive past them. I just know where that building is, right? And so there's people who drive past Willow, right? And in fact, up until last year, a lot of the front of the building was covered with trees.
Right.
Some people may have just not even realized it was a church, right? And so this is a unique time to be able to say, okay, instead of driving by, drive here, come have a good time, come hang out. And the thing that I love about the Cookout is that one of the biggest barriers is getting people anywhere near this church, right? But across the threshold into the church building through those doors, impossible.
Right.
With just people walking in, right? You've got to have someone inviting you. You've got to have a connection, or of course, there's exceptions, right? If you've moved to a community and you're looking for a church, sure, you're going to go different places.
Right.
But you want to break down those barriers, right? And getting them onto the property is basically what this is about, right? Because I don't know exactly what we're doing with the food situation this year because the kitchen is still being remodeled. Right. But last year we had people in the building eating. I assume that they'll at least come in here and sit.
Yeah, I think that's the plan as of right now. And most of what we're doing is grilling on our big grills. We don't even need the kitchen. For all that, so it's really we're going with the Cookout vibes on this one. The kitchen's down, so we're breaking out the grill. We're going all in on the Cookout, and we're gonna do it that way. But yeah, we're gonna have people in the fellowship hall, unless plans change between now and then. But I'm pretty sure that everybody's gonna be in the fellowship hall eating, and even though the kitchen's still under construction.
Sure. Yeah.
But I agree, and that's a really good point, getting people across the threshold. And I like to tell people, if you've got a place that you've historically gone on vacation several times, if you go vacation somewhere brand new and you kind of just go to Google, you find a church, you just pick one off the list best you can, and you say, okay, yeah, we'll just go with this one. Once you go with that one, every time you go on vacation to that spot, you're more than likely going to go back to that congregation because you've been there before. And it's much less intimidating. It's much less risky to how our brain works for me to go somewhere that I've been before. There's a huge mental hurdle there that we bypass once we get people here and get people in the building. And if they've been in our fellowship hall to eat a meal, that's awesome. If they've walked, and seen some of the classrooms because they needed to go find a restroom or something like that, then that's even better because they're like, oh, I know where the front door is. I know where the auditorium is. I've seen the pews. I've never sat in them, but I've got a good idea where they are. I'm pretty sure that I could slip in there, no problem. And it sounds silly, but that's the way that our minds work.
Yeah.
And everybody does that.
Yeah.
We just do it subconsciously. So recognizing that, getting people in the door, getting people familiar with the property, with our facility here is really important in getting people to see an invite to come to church and say, I could do that. It's not as scary. It's not as big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other thing, and this is really something that those who are listening can take to heart, is that, you ask yourself, where do I fit in with this, right? Mm-hmm. And, of course, we need lots of people to, watch kids do bounce castles, to set up food, to face paint, to do various things. But beyond that, we need people to be here, right? And to be interacting with these people, right? And you know, because once you have that connection of, hey, I recognize that guy, right? You know, hey, he talked to me for 5 minutes. You know, he wasn't a weird dude, right? You know, I'm going to come back and at least I'm going to recognize somebody, right, who recognizes me and doesn't just say, oh, look at that stranger. Yeah. So I think making those connections is probably something that I would like to see the congregation focus on this year.
Making those connections is super important because we can say that it's about getting to meet our community, getting to love on them, getting to start building those relationships. But if we don't put that into practice, then it's just a meal. It's just a meal. It's just some games. It's just, you know, it's just a fun afternoon. But if we can be intentional about reaching out to the people who are there from the community and forming a relationship with them. And one thing that I encourage people to do, if you're wondering how you can do that as we go throughout this process of meeting people and mingling with people, building relationships during this weekend, go talk to someone who's a visitor, and then once you go through the cordial, hey, we're so glad to see you. My name is, what's your name? Where are you guys from? Do you attend services anywhere? We're so glad to have you. Do you have kids? What do you do for a living? That sort of thing. Once you go through that casual conversation, say, hey, it was so nice to meet you. Can I get your number? I would love to check in on you. I'd love to have you come be my guest sometime. It'd be awesome if we could keep in touch.
Yeah.
Because if you have a good conversation with someone, why let that die there?
Sure.
If you have a good conversation with someone, they're not going, if they come in, you know, if you have that conversation with 50 people and you don't get any contact information, you have no way to follow up. And if one of them does decide to come visit with us 6 months from now, you're not going to remember who that person was.
Sure.
Because you saw 100, 200, 300 different people, you know, on the community day. And so you're not going to remember who that was. But if you go ahead and exchange information, if you reach out to them, if you seem genuinely interested in their life and genuinely interested in them and their family, then if they decide to come, if they turn down your invitation to come back for Friends and Family Day in the morning, but they decide 6 months down the road something happens in their life and they're like, man, I really need to get in church. I'm going to go over and visit that place that did the community day. They all seemed really nice. And they decide to come in. You don't recognize them. Not from that one conversation, probably, unless your memory's way better than mine is.
Sure. Not me.
But you probably don't recognize them from that conversation. They might be looking for you. They might remember you. But there's no guarantee that they find you, or if you're out of town that weekend, or whatever's going on.
Yeah.
You know, so if you do something as simple as say, hey, here's my number. Let me know if and when you want to come visit with us, and you can sit with me. Like we would love, because that's one of the biggest things that's so scary to people is like, I don't know where to come in at. Right. I don't know where to sit. I don't want to sit in somebody else's pew.
That's the worst.
No, I can't sit in somebody else's pew. I don't have any friends there. I don't know anybody. It's going to be uncomfortable. I don't know the order of service. I don't know where the bathrooms are. I don't know where classes are. All of this stuff, which, you know, we have a really cool website, by the way, which kind of helps walk you through a lot of that process.
Yeah.
And
more visitor focus all of a sudden.
Yes, all of a sudden more visitor focus. Big plug for Shawn here. That he's been working really hard on our website. It looks really good. So definitely direct people to the website because they can answer a lot of questions. But the best thing to do is just to give them your information so they can call you and you can be like, meet me at the door. Yeah, I will meet you at the front door. You can come sit with me and my family. Yeah. All of a sudden, you know where to go. You know who you're going to sit with. You have a friend. Mm-hmm. They can show you where everything is. They can answer all of your questions. You're not uncomfortable. You have a barrier between you and all of the strangers. All of a sudden, you've got someone who's gonna introduce you and all that stuff. Because you go in and you sit in the middle of a bunch of strangers that you've never met before, and it's like, you know, it's a lot to juggle when everybody comes up to you after services and they're like, oh, I don't know who all these people are, and everybody's trying to introduce themselves to you. If you're somebody's guest, then all of a sudden that's a lot less intimidating.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Plus, that song leader just told everyone to come hug up me.
Yeah, yeah. He does that all of the time. I don't know why he won't let that go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Probably one of the things that we can do too is you're like, well, you know, where am I going to give people my phone number at, right? We have these cards, right, to come back to Friends and Family Day, right? They're sitting right behind me in this box. I get them, but they're wrapped up. But, you know, get a Sharpie. And, I mean, we have pens and pencils all over this building, right? You know, get a Sharpie and write your information preemptively on 2 or 3 cards. You know, doesn't have to be 90 cards.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's absolutely.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways, of course, is just to pull out your phone and to go ahead and like open your text messages or contact card. Go ahead, pull out your phone, open a new contact, and then say, "Here, put in your information. I'd love to get to know you.
Yeah.
I'd love for you to let me know whenever you." Because most people will,
Sure,
if you show that genuine interest, and they're a lot less likely to hand you your phone back and say no thanks than they are to stick that card in their console or in their backpack or in their trash can or whatever, and afterwards. So one of the best ways is just pull out your phone and be like, hey, let me send you a text with my name on it right now, so you know who I am.
Yeah.
One, it's efficient, but 2, people do it all the time.
Yeah.
Like when you meet somebody new, people do it all the time. So it's not weird.
It's not unusual at all.
It's not unusual, you know.
Yeah.
And it's also a very good way to make sure that it happens right then.
Yeah.
Because sending someone home with your number is good. It's a good reference for them if they ever decide to reference it. But think of how many business cards you have stuck in a drawer somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how many of them you've ever actually used.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I feel you there. So, and you can, you know, if they give you their number, text them. Hey, this is Shawn Wilson, right, from Willow Avenue. Yeah. You know, just as easy as that. That way they have your contact information.
Yeah.
I feel like I've lost a millennial card because I've been out technologied by you. I'm like, get a Sharpie and write your get your cell phone out, Shawn.
No, it's you know, and do both. I mean, the more ways that you can reach out to people and remind them, the better. But yeah, the if I look at this card and it's come back tomorrow for our Friends and Family Day, but I'm looking at it 6 months down the road, I'm more likely to just throw it away than to reach out to whoever gave me that number. I don't even remember whose number that was. You know. And so if you just, you know, pull out your phone and do it right there, then there's no forgetting, there's no sticking your number somewhere where I can't find it and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've got a card there that looks like the door hangers we printed.
Yeah, this was the door hangers. We only have a few of these left. We've handed out over 400 because we've only got a few of them left, and we ordered 500. So we had a great team that met up here the other day and handed these out. So it's just a overview of what we're doing the community cookout on Saturday. Come back Sunday at 9 a.m. for Friends and Family Day, and it's a really cool little graphic that somebody put together. And free food and games. Yeah, it's just information. So if you see somebody in the area who's got one of these on their door, then they haven't gone through their front door lately. But they've been invited. They've been invited. So we handed a lot of those out just a couple of weeks ago. Yeah,
I grabbed my small stack. My kids love to go around. My neighborhood knows what's happening at Willow. If there's a door flyer, if there's a door hanger, my neighborhood knows what's happening.
That's awesome. That's awesome. There are still some of these on the table out in the foyer.
Come grab some and take them. They're not reserved.
If you want to grab some and take them, put them out in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they're not going to do any good sitting in our foyer.
No, use them all, and that way we'll know to buy 1,000 next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It's actually not a big price difference once you know it's that initial like $250 that's like the big price bump, and then it's like, oh, you want 500 for like just a little more? Yeah, of course I do. What was it, like $12 more to double it?
Something negligible for double the.
And then going up to 1,000 is, you know, another $12 or something like that.
Yeah, we'll have to do that next year because if we do if we were to go another hour, we could have easily done 800 or 900.
Yeah.
So.
Now these, I didn't get to come out because I had both the kids that day and Jess was at work. Where did you guys hang these up at? Is it
everywhere? Mostly residential neighborhoods.
Okay.
All residential neighborhoods.
But it's here on the south side of the city.
Yeah, here on the south side. So mostly neighborhoods that come onto or hit Willow Avenue, Burgess Falls Road, whatever you want to call it, once it gets south of us here. So just several neighborhoods down off that way.
Okay. So. Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you had a pretty good turnout for that.
Yeah. It was pretty good. Yeah. If we order 1,000, we're gonna need a few more. We're gonna need a few more people.
Sure.
So
yeah, I'm there with you. All right. So we've got the cookout coming. Everybody's going to have a great time, right?
Yeah.
And last year we did have several visitors come back. And the one thing I want to stress about this is, we put on this cookout and we have all this food that we've bought. We have all this effort that our members have put in. We've got the inflatable that comes out. It's not a small. It's one of our bigger events that we have every year, right? Mm-hmm. It does not matter how many people come back on Sunday if even a single person comes back. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have more than that, right? And and we can make those connections and really strengthen that and help them with whatever their needs are, wherever they're at, right? So let me ask you about Friends and Family Day itself, right? Mm-hmm. There's a meal afterwards.
Yes.
Right? We're pretty good at that.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we got some good cooks.
Yes. Do you know any of the details of that? Like, are we doing like is it like soups and sandwiches? Is it any kind of potluck?
It's just a potluck. It's like we normally do for our fellowship meals. So we'll have worship at 9, regular time, class at 10. And then we will have a meal following after, and so that'll be just our members as they come, just like they always do. They bring their meals with them. So I'm not sure yet as to whether we're gonna have like a warmer present.
Sure.
I think we might, but I'm not going to say for sure because it's not the construction with the kitchen is going pretty slow. So we're not counting on having the kitchen for this, but people
chance.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. But
people are still going to be bringing things. So bring it in something insulated.
That's right.
Is all I'll say about that.
Line those walls with crock pots.
Yeah. And so stuff like sliders and stuff is great because it doesn't have to be super hot.
Yeah.
But just it's your own. However you decide to do that, whether you bring it. I know we like to bring stuff in a crock pot. We did several of the kids' movie nights since the construction in the kitchen has started. Yeah. And several of our things have been like crock pot things because we can bring them and then plug them back in and make sure that it's hot so that we can eat it. We're not all eating lukewarm room temperature food. So.
Yeah. So outside of the potluck that we're having, right, which we haven't had one in a while, it's always nice to have them, right?
Of course.
Is there anything different about Friends and Family Day, right? Is the services the same, classes the same? Is there something different?
It will look the same to our members who are used to being here, except for hopefully the crowd and the singing, because all of those things are those are intertwined. They're conjoined. So more people always means better singing. I shouldn't say always. Almost always means better singing. Just because more voices and the energy around Friends and Family Day is a wonderful thing. Mm-hmm. And it's really something special. If you weren't able to be here last year, it was awesome. If you were here for one of our services, Easter, I think this year, we had a really big group of friends and family come from our members. We had a lot of members bring friends and family, and we had an awesome attendance, and it was just, the energy was just phenomenal because there were a lot of people just walking around and hugging and talking and cutting up and laughing and all of those things afterwards. that we have a lot of every week, because we have a really good group here who really loves each other and enjoys spending time together. But to have people come in that you haven't seen in a while, have people come in that you have a relationship with that don't attend here every week, that always brings an excitement and an energy in. And I think that part of that is built up with the community day, that everyone's been here working all weekend and they've been putting time and effort into this stuff. And that's hard to explain and it's hard to quantify. It's not something you can gauge in numbers, but just knowing that we've all been together during the weekend, putting in work, evangelizing, getting involved with our community. There's nothing that energizes a congregation more than working together.
Yeah, I agree.
So, but no, the order of service and stuff like that, that's going to be the same. The classes are going to be the same. But hopefully we have a lot of friends and family that come in. So that is one thing that you need to be inviting your friends and family now, or last week, or the week before, actually, because the further out people are able to put it on their calendar, the better. It's a lot harder to get a positive response if you come to them on Thursday and say, hey, friends and family day, can you change your plans this coming Sunday and, come visit with us? But if they know ahead of time, a lot of times they're willing to do that. And we, it's a pretty normal thing for congregations to have friends and family day and get to go worship with your family, or get to go spend time with your friends on a special day. So most of your friends and family that live in the area, they usually have a positive response to that. So highly encourage everybody. Don't wait on that sort of thing. Don't wait until the week of. As soon as this podcast comes out and you see it, go do that. Pull out your phone. Hit pause. Pull out your phone. Go to your text messages. Text like the first 10 people that you talk to on a regular basis, that's your friends or your family, and say, hey, just wanted to remind you that our Friends and Family Day is on November 9th, and we would really love for you to be able to come worship with us on that Sunday. It would really mean a lot to us to have you there worshiping with us on this special day. So if we can all do that, we'll be pulling out chairs.
Yeah. And so the biggest takeaway then is that the thing that's changing is hopefully we're going to have a lot of people here. Right. And be on your best behavior. No, everybody's usually pretty tame around here. But if you see people who are they're looking around like they don't know what to do now, they got kids, help them figure out where, which class they need to go to. Walk them there so that they feel comfortable about knowing where their child is, right? Invite them to come to your class, right? Whether it's coming back to the auditorium or come to Joshua's class, or whatever it is, right? You guys don't have to be BFFs forever, right? But in that moment, be their guide, be their friend.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. And a lot of them, don't be afraid to say, hey, are you visiting with us this morning? And maybe they'll say, yeah, I'm with somebody, which is great. In which case you say, hey, awesome, glad to see you. Do you know where you're going to class? Do you need help with finding where anything is? Because if you got a whole side of your family's visiting with you, then you're not available for everybody all at one time. Just be available, be accessible. We have a very, very friendly congregation, so just show them that.
Yeah.
If you see somebody you don't recognize, go introduce yourself. Ask them if they're visiting. If you don't recognize them because they sit on the other side of the auditorium and you accidentally ask one of our members if they're visiting, congratulations. No, congratulations. Don't feel bad. You've just met somebody that you worship with, that you're in the family with. It happens.
Yes, it does.
To everybody. It happens to me. And I'm one of the ministers, and I've been here a year, but sometimes the faces and the names just don't click. And I ask somebody how long they've been in the area, and they're like, all my life, way before you were born. And I'm like, great, this is awesome. But I remember those conversations.
Yeah.
You remember those conversations, and now you've
when you can laugh about it too, right? That creates this weird bond that you can then build on top of.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So don't be shy. Don't be nervous. Don't be afraid to stick your foot in your mouth as long as you're doing it with love and kindness.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So the last thing about the Friends and Family Day is that we are having all of the deacons, some of the ministers. I think it's mostly just the deacons and the ministers, putting together kind of like science fair boards, right? To talk about, kind of show what it is that they're doing, right? Because somebody said this podcast isn't going fast enough. No, but it's kind of like a
ministry fair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the word I'm looking for.
I think that's what we're calling it, is a ministry fair. Yeah, we got given homework.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you done yours yet?
No.
I haven't either.
I've you can ask all of my teachers. I have famously procrastinated my homework. But we are excited about it. So we're making these trifold posters that just kind of show what we're involved in and the ministries that we're involved in, all of our deacons and the things that they are kind of in charge of getting done, because that's one thing that you've done a good job with this podcast. But some of them have jobs that aren't necessarily podcast oriented.
Yeah.
That would be, like you said, a little bit dry to listen to for 30 minutes, but you can see it on a poster and say, hey, that's what they do. Yeah. I love that they're involved in that work. I'm so glad that someone's doing that. I never realized who that was. So yeah, it's going to be good. I think we're going to have them up on Saturday.
That's right. We'll be up both days.
While people are in and out eating and stuff, but really they're up for the fellowship meal on Sunday, so that people can get a chance to get around and look at those.
Yeah. And if you look at them on Saturday, I forgot this detail. If you look at them on Saturday and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. I bet that's kind of something that maybe I would be interested in helping with, right? If there is a need, if there's a sign-up sheet that's going to be available, it's not going to be out until Sunday.
Yeah.
So come back through and look at it again and say, oh, I could absolutely help do, A, B, and C. Or, hey, I want to come on Shawn's podcast, right? There may be a sign-up sheet for it. Who knows? But that's something. And if there's not a sign-up sheet and you're like, hey, I have a special interest in this anyways, reach out to that deacon anyways, right? You may know things of how you can help that they don't know, right? I had a law school professor that used to say, you don't know what you don't know.
There are so many ways to get involved, and there are so many needs that we cannot announce them all.
Yeah.
From the pulpit.
You think the announcements are long now?
Yeah. If we were to sit and to list all of the ways that you can get involved, and I preached a sermon a couple of months ago, and during that sermon I listed off a bunch of things, and it was like, you can be a servant, you can be involved in the work of the church, you can be involved in your brothers and sisters' lives if you have, and I listed off a bunch of things like a truck or a leaf blower or a sewing kit.
It's a very long list. I remember the PowerPoint.
It was a very long list, and it was not exhaustive.
Yeah.
It was just like a drop in the bucket. And it is that kind of situation, and we have those needs all the time around here. And if you have something that you think, hey, I would like to get involved in this for our congregation, I think that this would be a great thing. Come talk to one of the ministers or one of the elders about it, and if chances are something like that's already going on and you can help. And if it's not already going on, then you can start it.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. That's how we do. We can't hire enough people. We can't staff enough people to just do everything all the time. Yeah. So it really is the work of the congregation here really is member driven. It is. It's member driven. And a lot of people look at that, they look at the inverse a lot of times and they get it flipped around and they say that they think, and naturally they think that the ministers and the elders and the deacons are, driving that they're the driving force behind the work that gets done. And it's more like the rudder steering the ship. Yeah. We have a wonderful group of really involved elders, and they're awesome, but there's only a handful of them. they can't do all the work.
Sure.
And nor should they have to do all of the work. And the same goes for our ministers and our deacons. There's only a few of us whenever you look at the amount of work that there is to be done. So we have some really awesome members who are just really heavily involved and who are very hard workers in all of the ministries that we are a part of. And if you want to be that, if you want to be part of the driving force that moves this congregation forward, then just ask somebody, because I have been in and around ministry my whole life, and I have yet to hear somebody say, "No, we don't need any more volunteers." That's not happened to me yet. Now, I'm not saying it can never happen.
Sure.
It might. If it ever happens, I guarantee you it's, "No, we don't need any more volunteers for this one specific event," in which case you just have to ask somebody else who's in charge of something else. But yes, the answer is yes. We always need volunteers for something, most things. I have yet to do any event that I thought we really couldn't handle any more volunteers on this event. So if we have something going on, if you see a Facebook event for something, if you hear something announced, if you see your kid come home with a flyer, or if you hear somebody talking about an event that's going on, then just jump in and be like, "Hey, can I help with that?" And if you're available on the day that the event's going on, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. It's very, very rare that you'll hear someone say, "No, actually, got that handled." So jump in there, get involved.
Yeah. And this ministry fair will be a great way to at least get the cogs turning, right?
And just let you know, if you come to me and you ask, "Hey, can I help with hosting one of the devos for the youth group?" My answer is going to be, "I'm not sure. Let me send you to Austin." And because we've all got different responsibilities.
Yeah.
So in which case, hopefully the person you've asked will direct you in the right direction. But the ministry fair is going to be a good opportunity for you to go straight to the source.
Yeah.
And you say, "Hey, this is what I'm interested in. This is the deacon that oversees that work, or the minister that oversees that work. Let me go ask them if I can get involved in this."
Yeah.
And they're going to say yes.
Yeah.
So.
And if you can't figure out where you're supposed to be at or asking, come see me. I will track someone down for you.
Unless it's something like finances, in which case you can't. The answer is no.
He found the one thing that's the no. So.
I feel like that's going to be the only one.
That's it.
But that's an authorization issue there. So.
Yeah. So that's our big local thing that's going on.
Yes, we're super excited.
We have big not local things going on.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. We have big global things going on.
Big global things. Yeah. Like hemisphere things going on.
Hemispherical.
Yeah. So what's going on, Joshua?
We are going on 2 different mission trips in the summer of 2026. So one is stateside to the Hands of Compassion in Rochester, Minnesota.
Okay.
And one is the hemisphere side. It's international. We're going to Peru. We're going to Huaral, Peru in June of 2026 with Latin American missions.
Are you sure they pronounced that H in there? I've been wondering about that.
I am not sure.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. I know the H is one of the ones that they don't pronounce a lot, but it's crazy. All the South American countries, there's more variety in their Spanish than there is in our English between like even here in England or here in Australia or whatever. But
nope, not sure about that.
That's okay though.
I'm only got like a 30-day streak on Duolingo. So
I saw that yesterday. I think I sent you congratulations.
Shawn and I are friends on Duolingo.
That's
so
it.
If you're going on this trip, by the way, and you're practicing your Spanish Duolingo, you can come be Shawn and my friend.
We can be friends.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then we can congratulate each other whenever we whenever we keep our Duolingo streaks.
That's it. Yeah.
Does it tell you when I've decided not to do Spanish for the day and I just play a game of chess?
No, I didn't know.
Good.
I knew they were pushing that chess thing last couple of weeks, but I haven't even touched it.
Yeah.
No, I'm more the like the angry Duolingo guy at like 11:30. He's like,
"That's me.
Are you going to practice your Spanish today?
Yeah.
Or is this the end of the road, partner?"
Yeah. No, that's usually me sitting there taking my contacts out, trying to get through my last Duolingo.
Yeah. They guilt trip me. They've been guilt tripping me for almost 5 years now, my friend. My streak is 1,500 something days.
So Shawn's going to be our translator.
Yeah.
On our trip.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, we're excited. We're really excited about this trip to Peru. About both of these trips. The one to Peru is the one that I'm leading. It's
Sure.
the one that I'm organizing. So that's the one that I have more information on. But yeah, we can talk about both of those.
Yeah.
So where you want to start?
Well, the first thing I want to do is change that to Minnesota because I had Wisconsin in my notes. That's how much I know about it. But I think that the Minnesota thing is something that we've done before as a congregation. I've not been there, but my understanding is that it is a road trip, right?
Yes.
You know, so for people like my brother who refuse to fly, he could still go to this, right? When is that one, and where is that one?
So that's the when I don't believe has been finalized yet.
Sure.
There's going to be an informational meeting for this trip for those interested. That's going to come in January.
Okay.
So this one is a little bit more, since it's stateside and since it's a lot more local. It's not local to us and our community, but it's more localized than say an international trip. There's a lot less personal planning that has to go on. There's a lot of planning done behind the scenes that goes into it, of course, but there's a lot less personal planning that has to happen because you don't have to worry about a passport or flights or any of that stuff, right? So I don't think there is a date set for this yet. It would be sometime in July, the end of July, I believe.
Okay.
Is when that date is going to be.
Before school goes back, right?
Yes, definitely before school goes back.
And that's strategic too because we're helping this local congregation put on a VBS, right?
Yes, and it is our youth group. I believe it's our youth trip for the summer. Sure. It's our youth group mission trip, but that's not to say that others can't go.
Sure.
It's the youth trip it's the mission trip that our youth group is putting on. Or leading. It's the one that Austin Armagost and Tom Stafford are kind of heading this up and leading this trip. So they would be the ones who had more information on the when, where, and how on that one. But yeah, just from the 20,000 feet, it is with the Hands of Compassion facility, the Hands of Compassion organization, that is a ministry of the Rochester Church of Christ, they're in Rochester, Minnesota. And what the Hands of Compassion is, it's a facility. It's a house. I actually think that they have 2 houses now, that they offer a place to stay and support for people who are at the Mayo Clinic that's there in Rochester. So people who have come in from all over the country to get specialized work done or specialized medical care at the Mayo Clinic. This is a place where they can stay that's not going to put them in a financial crisis.
Sure.
It's not going to be an extra burden on them who are already going through a really hard time.
Yeah.
So it's a place that they can reserve a stay ahead of time, and it's a mission. It's an evangelistic mission and a service opportunity for the Christians who put it on there in Minnesota. So we're going to help to do a VBS, but also I think to help with some of the facility and stuff. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
It'll be a long bus ride, but it'll be a really good trip. So I know they went a few years ago, and I've heard nothing but great things about that trip.
Yeah. So more information about that coming in January then.
Yes. If you are interested on going on that trip, then you can reach out to Austin or Tom, and you can be on the lookout for that meeting and announcements coming out about that in January.
Perfect. All right. So back to Peru then. So was it Huaral, something like that?
However you say it, yeah.
We're going to Peru.
We are going to Peru. So this Huaral is on the coastal side of Peru. And it's funny, Taylor went on this same trip. It was a medical mission. It was a medical campaign to Peru from Latin American missions. She went in 2017, and they were actually on the other side of the mountain range. So Peru is a coastal country, and then there's the coastal cities, and then there's the big mountain range, and then there's the Amazon rainforest.
Sure.
So they were in the Amazon. So her experience is going to be a little bit different from ours, just based off of like what animals and the climate and stuff like that. Ours is obviously not going to be in the middle of the rainforest. So no, it's also going to be winter there. In June.
Winter.
If you can rough it in the 75-degree average high temperature for June in Peru. I was really curious about that because everybody was like, oh, Peru's going to be hot. And other people were like, oh, it's going to be cold. It's going to be winter. So I looked it up, and it was 75 degrees is the average in June. So I think most of us can tough it out.
That's warmer than today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's going to be really cool. It's going to be really good. That's Latin American Missions is an organization that's been around since the 1950s, I believe. It's a ministry of the Forest Park Church of Christ in Valdosta, Georgia. They've been doing trips to Latin America for forever. They've got a very thorough, very established network in Latin America. That's Peru, it's Panama, it's Honduras, it's Costa Rica, and there's a couple of others too that they go to. So they do the youth-focused campaigns, they do medical campaigns, and then they do like preachers training campaigns. So we're going on one of the medical mission trips, but that is not to say that those who go have to have any medical knowledge.
Sure.
That is one thing to clarify. It is a medical campaign. There will be medical services offered to the people of Huaral. But only 10% of the people who go on these campaigns are medical professionals. So those people are awesome and they're needed. And if that's you, then by all means, come on this trip.
Yeah.
Because that would be awesome to have more hands who can do that sort of thing. But if that's not you, like me, then there are so many things for you to do and to be involved in and to help this thing run smoothly.
Yeah. And if that is you, get with Joshua now. I think there's a little bit of paperwork to do.
Yeah,
right?
There is a little bit of paperwork just in licensing and stuff that you have to, prove that you are actually a medical professional.
Sure. That's important, isn't it?
Yeah, and not just somebody who thinks that they know stuff.
Like medical adjacent.
Medical
that doesn't
adjacent,
count.
Yeah. Like we don't want me trying to do anything too serious.
No.
Other than like
Band-Aids.
Yeah. I can really slap on some Neosporin, That's about where my medical professionalism stops.
Yeah.
I'm a liquid skin kind of guy. Something happens at the house, I'm like, alcohol, liquid skin, we're good to go.
Yeah.
And yeah, that bothers my wife, but that's okay. I haven't had to deal with anything too crazy. So if we do, we go to the hospital. We let somebody qualified deal with that.
Yeah. So, so the 90% who aren't medical professionals, what is it that they are getting involved in? What are they doing?
So there's door knocking that goes into it to let people know before the campaign even starts that it's going on. So when we get there, there's going to be a lot of setup as far as getting the facility set up. There's going to be a lot of door knocking because I believe that there is a gospel meeting that takes place during the week while the campaign is going on. So there's door knocking to, 1, let people know that the clinic is there, to 2, let people know that the gospel meeting is there, to 3, set up Bible studies. because the point of this campaign is evangelistic. It's a medical campaign, but the clinic and the medical care is a tool to open doors for evangelism and for the gospel, right? The gospel is always the focus of these trips, and whether it be a VBS that we're trying to put on, whether it be physical labor we're providing, whether it be medical care that we're providing, or training for local preachers, or whatever the trip is, the gospel is always central. So reaching people and fulfilling the Great Commission is always central to what we're doing. So there's going to be a lot of door knocking that goes on. There's going to be a lot of personal Bible study that happens. There's going to be a lot of people who go to the local schools and work with some of the kids who are there, building relationships with some of those kids, getting them involved in the gospel meeting and some of the things that are going on. So I'm not entirely sure like what that looks like on a day-to-day basis.
Sure.
Because I haven't been on this trip before. But it's different every time you go. It ends up being different. But there is work to do. There's lots and lots of work to do, and the actual medical side of it ends up being a pretty small portion of what everything that goes on, and the ways that we're able to get the gospel to people who may not have ever heard it before.
Sure.
In its entirety, there in Latin America.
Yeah. And I assume, because it's not important that all of us know Spanish, right? They have people there who are going to be able to, we're there to help be hands and be useful and do what we can and invite people or get the message out or put, hand bandages to nurses who know how to put them on, right? But they have people who can speak Spanish to these people and share the gospel, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. The some of the trips that I've been on before, you get like a translator that goes with your group. Yeah. So that you can kind of lead the way, but you have somebody to facilitate the conversation there. You'd be surprised. It depends on where you go. A lot of places that you go, if they're more centralized, if they're more urban, you end up finding more people that know English. Sure. And Huaral it is a pretty good sized city. So there may be some of that, but yes, Latin American missions, LAM, they have people who work with their program who are translators, who go on these trips, or who are locals who are employed by LAM and are kind of given like a stipend to work as translators for this period that we're there, and to help facilitate those interactions. So no, you do not have to be fluent in Spanish. You don't have to know any Spanish. Do I recommend learning some vocab words so that you can find your way around? Yeah, it's helpful.
Donde está el baño?
Yeah, it's really nice to know where the bathroom is, or to be able to ask how much something costs if you go and you're in a you find yourself in a grocery store looking for a sandwich in the middle of the day while you're out door knocking or something like that. Or there's going to be a free day at the end where we go into Lima, I think. Yeah. And we're able to kind of explore and get to see the sights, because that's a really cool city. And if you'd like to bring back a souvenir for someone, which is really cool. Sure. Everybody always appreciates a good souvenir. If you'd like to bring back a souvenir for someone, it's nice to know how much that costs before you pull out your billfold. So all of that's important. So yeah, I mean, sure. Recommended? Yeah. Required? No. So you don't have to be a medical professional. You don't have to be a world traveler. You don't have to know any Spanish to be able to go on this trip, to be able to put your skills to use, to be able to be useful and a important part of getting the gospel to people who have never heard it before. Yeah.
Sounds fantastic. I'm sure that some people are concerned whenever they go international about the safety of us, right? I imagine, given that this is not this group's first rodeo, that they take adequate precautions and warnings and things like that. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, how safe am I?
You're pretty safe.
Okay.
You're pretty safe.
Peru's not Venezuela or Colombia.
No. Peru is not riddled with the same kind of violence that you might find in some sort of those some sort of those countries like Venezuela, Colombia, some of those that are a little bit more infamous for that sort of thing. Now it's like anywhere. It's like any city you go. You go to Nashville. You need to be careful when you travel.
Sure.
You need to be aware of what's going on around you. You don't need to be looking at your phone while you walk don't get me started on that. But no, you are safe going on this trip, and it is travel, so something will not go to plan, but that's okay. The Latin American missions, LAM, they have a really good line of communication with people who are there in Peru where we're supposed to arrive, the people who are going to be there to pick us up and take us to the hotel. Part of the initial cost that goes into this that you'll pay when you sign up for it goes into the hotel, the transportation, the translators, the workers that are there on the ground who are doing this sort of stuff. So it's not like we're going to land in Lima and then be walking around trying to find a taxi to take us all the way up to Huaral, and we're going to all have to split up and be in different taxis. They're going to have people there that are going to take us from place to place. There's a plan laid out ahead of time, and if that plan changes, which it probably will at some point,
sure,
because if you've done any international traveling, you just have to be flexible, but they will make sure that everybody's accounted for and everybody gets where they need to go safely. That's their number one priority.
Yeah.
Like I said, they've been at this since the 50s.
Oh.
The Latin American mission's been at this since I believe it's 1950 something. So anyways, but they've been at this a long time, and to my knowledge, they haven't lost anybody yet.
Sure. Cool.
Or if they have, they haven't told me about it. No, they...
it was the 50s. It was a different time.
No, it is really 1958. 1958 is when they started doing mission trips into Latin and South America. So they've been doing this a long time.
Sure.
They've got a really good network, and that's why when we decided that we wanted to take a trip, this is the first place I went, LAM, because they're kind of they're most people's go-to if you want to do a mission trip in Latin or South America. LAM is they know a lot about a lot.
Cool. It sounds very exciting. Are there? I know we've already had one meeting about this.
We have.
Is that it? Are we going to have more meetings?
We will have more meetings as we get closer to time.
Yeah. And our general date for wanting to confirm is the beginning of the year.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. The first of the year, 1st of January, I need a hard yes or no, because we need to get registered in January. So I'll be talking with the people who are organizing the trip from LAM, and I'll be giving them everybody's information and starting to sign people up when we get into January. So yeah, if you need any more information about the what goes into going as far as getting a passport or raising money or how much it costs total, flights, stuff like that, then come and see me, come and talk to me, grab me, send me an email, send me a text, whatever, and I will get you all of the information that I have access to, and we'll get that taken care of. But yeah, absolutely. I encourage everybody to go. You do not have to be able to walk 14 miles in the Amazon jungle to be able to go on this trip and to be a servant and to be useful. So please don't think that because you are older or younger or not in the best shape that you are not fit to go on this trip. You can be of use. You will be of use if you attend this trip. Even if your place for the week is sitting in front of the clinic and collecting people's name and address and what they're there for, then part of what happens is triage as people come through into the clinic. And because some people come through and they're like, I need reading glasses. And it's like, hey, go that way. And some people come through and they're like, my arm doesn't work anymore. And you're like, you definitely need to go that way.
Yeah.
And so there's got to be people who are collecting information and sending people in the right direction. And those don't need to be our doctors.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have their hands full.
Sure. Fixing people's arms.
Yes. They're going to be busy doing things that I'm not qualified to look at.
Sure.
And so if you need to be sitting in a chair, you'll end up sitting in a chair.
We have a chair for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a useful chair.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a necessary chair.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I just want to clear up. If you're not sure if you're fit to go, then you may be overthinking what all goes into it and how you can be of help, So it's certainly, I think that there is a place for everyone on this trip. And if you don't believe me, then reach out to me and we'll talk about it. And I will help to alleviate whatever concerns I can.
Perfect. So people need more information, come see Joshua. If you want to figure out how you can contribute to help get some people there, we don't have anything set up like that. Maybe talk to the elders about it. I'm sure they'll be happy to help you contribute to that. Joshua, you and I have a lot of irons in the fire.
We do.
I feel like we could have like a 3-part podcast. But
we could. I could.
We really could.
We could start laying out the calendar for 2026 if you wanted to. But no, we don't. We'll be here. We'll be here all day. We got to eat lunch at some point.
We do. Also, the batteries are about to die on these cameras. Hitting a new record here. But I really appreciate you coming in and talking to us about all these things.
Of course.
And I look forward to our all of our activities coming up here and elsewhere.
Yeah. It's gonna be awesome. We've got a lot going on here at Willow, and I'm super proud to be a part of this family and a part of this ministry here. And all I have to say is get involved.
Yeah.
To the work, to the work. Here we go.
Here we go.
Let's go. Let's do it.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.